All right, what's up, everybody? So if you are watching this video, we have some people watching this video on YouTube or on any other platform, and or we have some people in the class. So if you're watching this video, we're just starting off. We are doing simple present. This lecture is on simple present, and this presentation's link is not mine, but I will have it in the description. For everyone that's here, you can always ask me questions. For anyone that is online, you can also always ask me questions in the comment box below. And if you're here and you want to ask me any other questions in other languages, you can as well. Cool? All right, let's do this or not. So we're starting with simple present. And what is, you guys, simple present? Well, simple present is used to talk about events. It's used to talk about general facts. It's used to talk about instructions, and also used to talk about future events. Okay, so simple present, when we talk about events, for example, a concert is an event. A book signing is an event, okay? Something that is happening. Cool? Cool. The second part is general fact. For example, the sky is blue, okay? The table is round. The computer is white. These are all general facts, things that we know are true, okay? So again, we have events, okay? So in Spanish, be like eventos o cosas que están pasando, okay? General facts, and these are like cosas que son normalmente la verdad, all right? So normally truth, and instructions, and to give instructions and talk about future events. So to give instructions, for example, is when you try to do something, okay? So break the egg, like if you're doing recipes, right? So you put 3 cups of sugar, put 2 cups of water, right? So these are instructions. And to talk about future events as well. All right, cool. So that is why we use it. We also use it to show habits. Now, it's not on the presentation right now, but we also use it to show habits. So things that we do on a daily basis, or things that we do often. Y esas cosas, in Spanish, esas cosas son hábitos, right? Things that you always do. Like, for example, I ride the bike every morning. I walk to school every Monday and Friday, okay? So these are general things that you do. I visit my grandmother every Sunday. I travel to Europe every year. I take the bus to San Diego twice a week. Okay, so these are all different things that show habits. And again, they can also fall under general truth. Okay. My apologies. All right. So some examples. I do my homework every day. She wakes up at 6 a.m. every day. These are habits. They are general truth and they are habits. Okay? Any questions from the people that are here? No? Okay. Are you sure? Preguntas, dudas, algo? All right, none of that. Cool. Questions, Asila? Anyone? No. Okay. So things that we do every day or every week or every month or every year, these are all used in simple present. Okay. Other things, I eat vegetables The party is tomorrow. Even though tomorrow is in the future, we still use simple present, right? Bogota is...
It's because it's not about to happen, right?
Yeah, because it's very close in time.
Okay.
So Bogota is in Colombia, right?
Yeah.
So those are general facts. All right. So here's the thing. When we are forming a simple present, we almost in all cases keep the verb the same way, except when we are talking about third person singular. And third person singular is he, she, and it. That's it. Everything else gets the verb as it is. All right. So for third person singular, what we do is normally for almost all of them, we just add an S at the end of the verb. So for example, Santiago learns English. If I was talking about me, I would say I learn English, no S. But since I'm talking about Santiago, and Santiago is he, right?
Yeah.
So it's equal to he, then Santiago learns English. So we add an S. If I'm talking about you, I don't add an S. You learn English. We learn English.
Only when she or he.
Exactly. Only when we have she, he, or it. Because for us in English, the only third person singular is he, she, it. Everything else does not get an S. So una vez en español, si es la tercera persona singular, so he, she, or it, nos ponemos un S al fin del verbo. But si no es la tercera persona singular, no vamos a poner un S, solo el verbo mismo. So the verb as it is. So if you are writing a sentence, for example, she walks every morning. Walk is the verb. Because she is third person singular, we add an S at the end of the verb. Okay, so people that are here, if you can tell me, if I were to say, instead of she, I would to say I, what would the sentence be?
I walk. Walking.
I walk every morning, right? So ing is not part of simple present. We use ing for something else. So I walk every morning. If I were to say you, if I were to change she to you, what would I use?
You walk, she walks every morning.
So if I were changing she to you, what would my sentence be?
You walk every morning.
You walk every morning. Again, walking every morning or to walk every morning, that is a habit. And if it's a habit, then again, there is no ing. We just use simple present. So you walk every morning. If I were to change she to we, what do we think we use?
We walk every morning.
We walk every morning.
Yeah.
So no S. The only time, again, the only time we use S is when we are talking about a third person singular in simple present, okay? My dog runs in the park. Can anyone tell me why my dog takes an S? So runs takes an S when it's with my dog.
Because we're talking about he, right?
About the dog.
Because we're talking about it. That's right. And it, or in other languages, this would be the equivalent of he. If you are speaking a gender-fied language, then it would be he. You're right. That is the correct translation. But in English, again, things or animals are referred to as it. Excuse me. So my dog runs in the park. If I were to say the dog, anything would happen to the verb? Would anything happen?
That dog is running.
Once,
No.
right?
Runs?
Once
Oh, my bad.
in the park, in the park.
The dog runs in the park. No to ing because ing is not part of simple present. Ing has different use. This information, my dog runs in the park, is a general information. We don't know when it happens. We just know that it happens, right?
Yes.
So we don't care what time it happens, if it's happening right now. We just want to know the information. My dog runs in the park. If I were to say I instead of my dog, what would I do? What would the sentence look like?
I run in the park.
I run in the park. And for people who are listening online, you can pause the video, answer the question or answer the questions in the comment box below, and then, continue on with the video. If I were to change it from my dog to Susan, what would happen to the sentence?
She runs
She
in the park.
runs.
She runs in the park. So it doesn't change, right?
No.
Because Susan is she and Susan is third person singular. If I were to change my dog to you, what would it be?
You run
I
in the
run.
park.
You run in the park, right? So we're taking this portion, we're taking the noun or the subject of the sentence, and we are changing it. So if the subject is anything besides third person singular in simple present, then the verb does not have an S. If it is third person singular, what does it have? An S at the end. Okay. Questions? Are you sure? Are you positive?
Mhm.
Okay. Let's continue. All right. So when we have to use don't or doesn't or do not or does not, we can use don't with I, you, we, and they. Again, the only ones that are different is third person singular. So she, he, and it. That's it. These are the only ones that are actually different. We use do not or don't when we want to say something negative or to negate something with I, you, we, and they. For example, I don't like sushi. Okay, that's a lie. I love sushi. But I don't like sushi or I do not like sushi. If I were to say that same sentence with you, how would it look like? Can anybody tell me?
You don't like the sushi, right?
Exactly. You don't like sushi. However, if I were to change it to doesn't or I'm sorry, to she, he, or it, then do not will change into does not or
Does not.
doesn't. Okay. Again, do not and don't are the same word. They're just a contraction, but it's the same meaning. Does not and do and doesn't are the same words, just the same meaning, just a contraction. So we just made it shorter, made it easier to say. So what would happen if I changed my sentence from I don't like sushi to she?
She doesn't.
She doesn't.
She doesn't like sushi. So we change it from does not, from do not to doesn't, does not, or from don't to doesn't. Cool? All right. So if I were to say John and Jacob instead of I, what would the sentence look like?
Doesn't.
They don't
they
like
don't.
Susie.
So John, right? They don't. So John and Jacob don't like sushi because when we have two people, that's no longer singular. The only time we use doesn't, or does not is when we have third person singular. She, he, or it, or anything that represents them. The dog, the cat, the bird, my dog, the neighbor's dog, doesn't matter. Susan, Evelyn, Michael, John, George, whoever, those are she's and he, right? And they are each one person, so they are singular. Anything that resembles third person singular in simple present, again, in simple present, uses doesn't, not, don't. Everything else uses don't or do not. Okay? Any questions, my people?
Good.
No? Are we sure? This would be the accurate time to ask. Preguntas. Yes, no, maybe? Okay, pueden preguntar if you need help. Okay. All right, my good people. So these are some more examples. I don't read books because we have I.
We have ourselves.
All right, yes, we are talking about first person singular. You don't go to school. We're talking about second person singular or second person plural, right? Because you is the same in singular and in plural. So it also gets don't. We don't know math. Well, we is first person plural, right?
Yes.
So we gets don't. They don't like vegetables. They is third person, but it is plural. So they gets don't and not doesn't. Okay? All right. For the doesn't, she doesn't read books. She is third person singular. So it gets doesn't. He doesn't go to school. He is third person singular. So it gets doesn't. My dog doesn't like the vegetables. Again, my dog resembles it. So we can replace my dog with it, right? And if we can do that, then it's third person singular, which means that it gets doesn't and not don't. Any questions, my good people? All right, shall we continue? All right, what was the interrogative form is asking questions, right? So when we are asking questions in simple present, again, we have do and does, right? Do we use for anything besides third person singular. So I, you, we, and they. Does we use with third person singular. And you can remember those by having, by seeing the S. Remember, for third person singular, we always add an S at the end of the verb. Now this one is ES because it's not regular, but there is an S there, so that will help you remember, okay? So do goes with I, you, they, and we. Does goes with she, he, and it. All right. When we are asking a question, we start with do or does. Do you like music? So these are generally yes or no questions, right? Do you like music? Yes, I like music, right? No, I don't like music. Okay, so again, when we are using, when we want to ask a question, we use do when we have I, you, and they, and we, and does when we have she, he, or it, right? So in one more time in Spanish, okay? So cuando estamos poniendo una pregunta, podemos poner do cuando usamos las personas I, you, they, and we. All right. Y cuando ponemos o cuando usamos la tercera persona singular, debemos usar does cuando estamos formando una pregunta, ¿ok? So do es para formar una pregunta con todas las otras y does es con la tercera persona singular, ¿ok? Cool. So do, again, first person, second person, third person plural, all right? And first and second person singular. And does is only for third person singular. And do and does go at the beginning of the question. And you can see that if we take out do, you can see you like music. That's a fact, right? But if we want to ask about that fact, we add do and we keep the sentence the same. Okay, so the sentence looks the same. We just add do at the beginning of it. He eats fast food. That could be a sentence by itself. So the sentence structure doesn't change. When we are asking a yes or no question in simple present, we just add do and does. Okay, so once in Spanish, la estructura de la oración no cambia, solo que tenemos o debemos de poner do or does en la primera parte de la oración, ¿ok? O la primera parte de la pregunta. So, cuando queremos formar una pregunta, that is yes or no, que la respuesta es sí o no, debemos poner do or does en la primera parte de la pregunta, ¿ok? So, again, once again in English, if you are forming a question in simple present that is a yes or no question, you can use do or does, and you just keep the rest of the sentence the same. So that makes it a little easier. Again, if you have any questions, you can type them in the comment box below, or if you have any questions and you are in the room with me, feel free to ask anything that you have. Any questions, my people? Simple? Yes, maybe? Okay. Yes? Cool. Oh, and that was that. Oh, to stop recording.